Hello, hello. We're here. I don't know why the video quality doesn't look great, but that's fine. Oh my God, I feel like it's been so long since I've been on YouTube Live. Okay. Anyways, I had a little sacral hit to do a June update for y'all because the transits of June, now that I'm looking at them, look pretty crazy. And I mean crazy in a good way. Like there's a lot of forward momentum happening. There's a lot of forward movement. There's a lot of clarity and breakthroughs that are coming in. I was just looking at the human design transits for June and what moves gates. This is from Zen Human Design, I believe. They do a human design ephemeris, which is really helpful for looking at the wide scope of planetary movements through the gates. And I use this every now and then in my membership community when I do transit updates and also when I feel the energy to do them on here and on the podcast. So, welcome back. It's been a minute. Jupiter and Taurus was really a lot of downtime for me. It was a lot of rest and recharging and just nurturing myself in ways that I haven't for such a long time when Jupiter was transiting through my fifth house and then Jupiter was transiting through my sixth house and over my Saturn and then Jupiter was transiting through my seventh house, and it was just a lot of, and over my Mars. It was a lot of action. It was a lot of work. Literally from 2020 until like 2023, I just worked so much to build my ebooks and my courses and the classes and the membership and build out the membership community and make improvements to my website and the podcast and creating content for TikTok. And it was a lot of everything all at once. All the creations all at once. And I never really had time or space because I was so transitory and moving around so much for downtime. I didn't have space for it until I moved into the last place I lived early 2023 and was able to finally rest and recover and recharge. And then when I moved in here in February, it just kind of helped me to be able to do that in more ways than I was in my last place. And so that was my focus of really the peak of my Saturn return too is taking care of my physical body and having more of an established work-life balance where I can take care of my health in all the ways that I want to and have needed to for quite some time. So here we are. When with all this Gemini energy, it is just propelling me into so much new things. It was, Taurus is a fixed sign, so it can be, and I'm a Taurus sun, so it can be rough to for a Taurus to like switch modes. We like to stay in one mode, and when it's time to switch, it can be a little bit of a rough transition. And I've been feeling that lately with everything moving into Gemini. My chart ruler is in Gemini. My chart ruler is Venus in Gemini. So Jupiter has been on it. Mercury's on it right now. And we've had the Sun and Venus cazimi, which as a Libra rising has really been affecting me. And I've just been literally from 0 to 100 is what the start of Gemini season was for me. It was literally going from 0, lots of Netflix and chill, lots of making my own meals, cooking at home, baking, to 100 of like content creation and course creation. And I launched 2 new courses in the last week, and I'm still adding material to the human design variables bundle that I launched and doing all the research for that, creating the PowerPoint slides, structuring the classes to that'll be added to that bundle. And yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of just creating and sharing and information consuming so that I can teach it to y'all in a way that's simple and concise because the variables, Lord, is it hard to find practical information about the variables. So that's what the bundle is for. And I'm really excited about it, but it's been, and I won't say but, I'll say and because I am excited about it. It's been a lot of work putting all of that together into a new thing. And there's other courses I'm working on launching. There's other things I'm working on creating. So it's a lot all at once. Like I said, 0 to 100. And I don't feel I'm alone in that energy because it feels like a very collective energy with Gemini season. It feels like a lot of us are feeling that right now. And even though we don't have all of the answers to like assimilate everything, they're coming. It's coming. The main transit that was calling to me about that, because we've had Uranus in gate 23, which Uranus is the planet of chaos, insights, innovation, breakthroughs. In gate 23 is all about assimilating the breakthroughs and the innovations, the ideas that we're getting. But if you don't have gate 20 or if you don't have gate 43, it can be kind of hard to piece those things together, to make sense of them, to share them. So Uranus is moving on June 7th to gate 8. We've had Uranus in gate 23 for quite a while. Let me see when it first moved into. It's been all year. It's been there all year. It might have even been December or November of last year when Uranus moved into gate 23. So now that Uranus is moving into gate 8, which is the gate of contribution, and sharing yourself, marketing yourself, like sharing your contribution, adding your contribution to society, we're all going to really start to feel that. And that is going to be the focus of how we're innovating our lives, right? Uranus energy. And it's going to be there for a while. Let me give y'all some exact dates. It will be there until December. So from like June 7th until the first week of December, we're going to be really focused on, okay, how can I start this new thing? How can I implement and embody this change I've wanted to make, right? I've been talking about this in my weekly updates that I do on my TikTok, my Instagram, and I also send out a weekly transit update to my email list. If you don't get the email, like hop on it. Because it's amazing to have like a play-by-play of what's going on for the week ahead. I send it out every Sunday. And I've been talking about this new direction that we're all headed, these new beginnings that we're all started with the North Node in Aries, with Uranus and Taurus. Like we're needing to make a change in our life in order to align ourselves with a new timeline and a new beginning, a new feeling of abundance and optimism and joy in our lives. And we haven't felt super clear about how we're going to do that yet, but it is coming. We're getting more clarity as the days progress, as the year progresses. And I really feel like come the 7th of June, the energy is just going to be like, okay, now I know how I'm doing this. And now it is time to actually do it. I've been talking with so many people in my membership and elsewhere who want to start a podcast, want to start a YouTube channel, want to start posting on TikTok, want to start their own like business. And now is the time to start doing it. Like, I feel like I've been talking about this all year in my updates that I do every week. It's the collective themes are starting new, are beginning something new and making the changes, even though they're uncomfortable and scary and chaotic, making those changes that you need to make in order to move forward into this new beginning. And so like now is the time. And it feels like this summer is going to really bring that energy in a way that we haven't yet seen. So if you have been feeling unclear, if you're feeling like you don't really know or have all the answers yet, like it's coming. And that's why I wanted to do this June update, because June feels like a really big month for that. Originally looking at 2024, I thought it was going to be May, but with everything we had in Taurus, it makes sense that it wasn't May. Like we had all this in Aries, but now that there's things in Gemini, it's actually like, okay, I sat with myself. I maybe took some action that I reassessed with the Mercury retrograde in Aries that we had in April on how I want to move forward. And now I'm able to the energy is here, the information is here, the people are here, right? This is Gemini energy. It's like externalizing all that we've been sitting with and all that we've been wanting to do and be embodied in. And it's starting to do it and share it and talk about it and put it out into the world and create things around it. So yeah, this is like, it's a really exciting time. And we just had Mercury on Uranus too, like bringing more clarity, bringing more downloads, bringing more ideas. Um, and it just, like I said, it feels like things now are moving like 100 miles a minute, and it's really exciting. And I don't have all the answers yet either, but I know that they're coming. I know that it's just a matter of time before everything like clicks together. And it's what we're doing now, how we're listening to our own authority now, that's guiding us there ultimately. So all of that said, all that little preface. Hi, Samantha. Yeah, it's almost here. And I feel like we're all being called to rest right now so that when it is here to act, we have the energy to do so, right? We are like, we're rested, we're well fed. Like, I feel like that was what Jupiter and Taurus was gearing us for, was like to sit around and be lazy so that when the time is here to create these things with Jupiter and Gemini and all that's in Gemini right now, like we have the energy to do so. So, and we have a new moon in Gemini tomorrow on Thursday, early in the morning. I believe it will be at 7 a.m. for me, so 9 a.m. Eastern time. And that's gonna be, let's see, 12:37 Universal. I think that'll be in gate 35, which is the gate of progress. Um, yeah. So we're in this energy of like making that progress and change, and the ideas and the revelations and information all coming in that we need to be able to make that change and progress our lives forward in this new direction. So this is the current, these are the current transits. We have the moon approaching the sun and Venus and Gemini. We have Mercury on Jupiter. It's 3 degrees away from Jupiter right now. So that energy is lessening. Like the first, I said this in my update on Sunday, Monday and Tuesday of this week were like the most intense days of the week because we had Mercury on Jupiter. And Mercury is in its home sign of Gemini, and Jupiter, anything that's on Jupiter just gets expanded, just becomes larger than life. So our minds, our social interactions, like the way that we're communicating, what we're creating, how we're putting that into the world have just been in this very expansive energy, which can show up as anxiety, which can show up as like busyness, right? It's also been in, it was in gate 20, which gate 20 is the gate of the now and being just really focused on like, okay, what's here in front of me right now to do? And then letting that lead you to the next thing, right? For me right now, it's being here on YouTube live with y'all. And then when I'm done with this, I'm gonna go for a run and get outside because I need to like get in nature and ground myself and move my body. Because this energy is so heady, it's so intense, like in the mind, having those grounding practices or movement practices or whatever helps you just connect to your body and to the earth is going to be really beneficial during this time, really for the next 2 weeks. So we'll take this day by day, but like I said, I do a deeper dive every week that gets sent out to my email list. You can sign up for my email list at astrologyhumandesign.com if you're not on it. It also gets posted on my TikTok and Instagram. But in my email list, it's like in written form. And I link the video if you want to watch the video. And I use my Astro board. But it's really cool to have it in the written form and go back to the email like throughout the week and be like, oh, this was what was going on Wednesday. And like, I'm feeling that. Yeah, you get it. So astrologyhumandesign.com if you want to get those emails every Sunday. But yeah, we have the Venus cazimi for a while. Like the sun and Venus have been traveling together for I think a week now. Like it's been a while. Let's go back and see. I mean, they've been really, really close together since Venus went into Gemini on the 24th of May. They became exact right on top of each other on the last day of May, the 31st. This was last Friday. Crazy, that's June 5th already. Anyways, and this is going to last for another like week and a half. So as you can see, they're still moving together. We have the new moon in Gemini tomorrow, which will be on this Venus cazimi. And right now it's in a challenging aspect to Saturn. It's squaring Saturn. So there might be, again, these things we want to do, these ideas we want to act on, but there's still a feeling of restriction or a feeling of limitation, right? For a lot of us, that's showing up as physical exhaustion or anxiety. So that's going to last a couple days. That will really peak on, we'll feel it on the new moon because the new moon is going to be almost exactly squaring Saturn. So check where you have Gemini and Pisces in your chart. If you have anything around these degrees, those are going to be the areas of life where this shows up for you. And if you have any planets there, the planets that are affected by this. If you have anything around 19 degrees Pisces or Gemini this weekend, you're really going to be feeling this. I mean, either way, we're all going to be feeling it. But if you have any planets there, they're gonna bring up lessons revolving around those planets. So it will peak, looks like on Saturday on June 8th. And then Mercury will join the sun and Venus. They'll be traveling together through the rest of Gemini season. So on June 9th, we have Mars going into Taurus, which is going to give us some more of that grounded energy. Mars in Aries has been really fast, quick, intense energy. It's been like, I want to do everything and I want to do it right now. But again, we're still feeling that limitation with Saturn squaring the sun and Venus cazimi. Like, we're still feeling that restriction of like, oh, now's not the time. Like I said, either whether it's physical exhaustion or it's like a sense of maybe feeling chaotic, maybe feeling like there's a lot of mental chatter going on. So again, anything you can do to ground yourself, meditation, putting your feet in the grass, going and laying in the park, like on the grass, anything you can do to just slow that mental chatter down and not get swept up by it is going to be really, really helpful. And then come June 9th, things will slow down a little bit, but June 9th is going to be a really intense day. That's the Sunday. I'm filming this on the 5th. We have Mars and Taurus squaring Pluto and the moon in Leo. So this is really going to bring up the need for you to heal any residual thing that is left around you starting this new beginning. Someone I was talking with in my membership community last night, or no, it was on Monday. Oh my God. Time has been wild too, but that's another conversation. So I do a live Q&A in my membership twice a week, every other week. And on Monday, someone in the membership was talking about on the Q&A how they have been wanting to start to create content on social media, but they don't know where to start and they're a little shy on camera. This is the energy of like this transit on Sunday is going to bring up those wounds for you to heal them so you can overcome them and to really learn like, okay, it doesn't really matter how good I am at something. If I find it joyful, if I love doing it and it feels like the direction I want to head and it supports me in making this change, like just showing up and doing it. This is that energy. Because if if we don't act on these lessons now, they're going to just show up again. And come August, I've done videos on my membership and on my TikTok about August. Like August is really intense. And it's just, if you don't take action on this energy now of like, okay, I want to do this thing. If you let the fears get in the way, if you let the negative thought patterns get in the way, come August, it's gonna like the rug's gonna be ripped out from under you. So you won't have a choice to like act on it. Um, but if you're acting on this energy now, come August, like things are gonna blow up for you. Like this could be a video going viral or whatever it is. Like things are gonna really start to like move quickly this summer if you're taking the action that your intuition is telling you to take. And you're just really embracing the joyful nature of it and just doing it for the sake of doing it and not caring how you sound or how you look or if your stuff is perfect. Like nothing is ever perfect. It's never ever going to be perfect, but you can always refine it and make it better. But you can't refine it or make anything better if you don't start, right? So this is the energy of like starting to do it and realizing like, okay, I'm going to embrace doing it imperfectly and I can always make it better. I will just get better along the way. But if I never start, that'll never happen, right? And your dream will never be realized. So this week is really the energy of like starting on that thing. I mean, I don't even want to say that because that makes it seem like it's all going to come together this week. I don't feel like it is. I feel like this week is just the momentum we need to start putting ourselves out there a little bit more. So for my life, this is me showing up a little bit more on live video. I haven't been doing lives recently and I've realized like I really love them. They're a little scary, like just being on here live with anyone able to like hop on and comment like whatever they want, but it's what I love, right? I'm doing it because I love it and it's for the sake of the joy of it. So this is what I'm talking about. It's like we're starting to feel that forward momentum, even though there's some restrictions, like I said, the exhaustion, what have you. We're still starting to like realize we can take those steps and we can act on these things that we're getting clarity around. And then, like I said, come June 7th, Uranus moves into gate 8, which is going to be about sharing your gifts, I want to say like contribution because that's like what the name of the gate is, but that doesn't make sense in the context. Like contributing your gifts, sharing yourself with the world, like starting to do that. And this is going to be the energy for the rest of the year. So, did I cover we have an exact conjunction between Saturn and the Sun on Sunday, which is funny because Saturday is ruled by Saturn and Sunday is ruled by the sun. And we have this Sun Saturn. Did I say conjunction? I meant square. We have this square aspect between the sun and Saturn on Saturn's day and then the sun's day. Oh man, that's hilarious. That's really great. So again, there might be some things that come up this weekend that's like, oh my God, I want to do this, but there's like restriction, right? And it's just about realizing that there's a divine timing and a divine order to everything you want to do. And this energy is gonna pass like in a few days. So just roll with the waves right now. Let the tide do its thing. And it will pass. So like I said, we still have the sun and Venus traveling together really until Gemini season ends. We'll have Mercury join it. The Saturn Sun square and the Mars Pluto square is going to last a few days. So let's look at when that ends. Looks like it'll lessen like a week from Saturday. So June 15th looks like this energy gets a little bit more bearable, gets a little bit less intense. And then we have Mercury joining the sun as well as Venus. Venus is still pretty close to the sun. So again, I feel like this week is the ramp up. Next week, and then on like really on June 15th is when we really start to see like, okay, it's here. I have the idea. I know what I want to do, and it's time to act on it. There might be something to release as well around this day as we have the sun, or I'm sorry, we have the moon on the South Node in Libra. So there might be releasing like old behavioral patterns, releasing the need for things to be perfect, releasing certain relationships in your life if they don't support this new direction that you're headed. Anything like that is going to be a theme on June 15th. And then I really feel like after this, it's like full force, full steam ahead. Like we're doing the thing. So June 17th, we have Venus and Mercury moving into Cancer. There'll be more of a focus on really just moving in alignment with our intuition. Cancer is cardinal energy. It's about beginning things. It's about listening to our intuition and leading with that, like leading with water sign energy. So leading with creativity, leading with, again, intuition, leading with emotion, leading with like, what do we want to do? How do we want to share it? How will it support my dream? How will it support the people I want to serve, right? Cancer is all about nurturing and supporting people as well as yourself. So how is the actions that you're taking? How are the actions that you're taking in this beginning that you're starting? How are they nurturing you, but also nurturing the people that you are ultimately serving by acting on this new beginning, by sharing your story, by sharing content, right? By showing up, like how is this stuff serving both you, your soul, and the people that you're here to help? And we're almost out of Gemini season, which is wild to me because I feel like it just started. We will have a new moon or a full moon in Capricorn a couple days after this as well. We'll have the moon opposite Uranus on June 18th, which is going to bring about like, again, how are you healing those negative thought patterns that are telling you you can't do it until you're perfect at it. You need this to do that. You blah 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 blah. Blah. No. Someone tweeted me earlier about this because they were like, I really want to start a YouTube channel, but I feel like, I have this great story and I have like personal um ways that this has helped me in my life and I want to share it with people, but I feel like I can't because I'm not a psychologist and I don't have this and I don't have that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't need any of that. Like just start sharing. You only need to be 2 steps ahead of the person that you want to help because your journey of overcoming what you want to help people with is helpful to them. And you don't need to be like this perfect person. Nobody's perfect. Everybody still has healing to do. And like that's always going to be a thing. So start now and you can already help people with where you are now. You can help people who are where you have been. Does that make sense? So this is that energy of like healing those negative beliefs, healing those things that are holding us back from really truly taking action on this change we want to make. And not giving more weight to those negative beliefs than we're giving to actually just doing the thing. Right? Like A good friend of mine came over for dinner last night and he was like, "Wow, Kelsey, I'm so inspired by like the way you've decorated your house and just that you're living this life now. Like we met when I was living out of my car. I was like living out of a tent. This was 4 years ago." And he's like, "Wow, it's just so inspiring to see how far you've come by just like doing like pursuing your dream and sticking with it." And he was like, "I really want to like do what you've done. I really want to create courses around like what I know, which for him is Bitcoin." And but I just have these negative like repeating thought patterns that come up. And I was like, all you have to do is take action to prove to yourself that none of that like mental chatter is true. Like none of that is true. It's just silly thoughts in your head. Like, but none of it's true. And you just have to take action to prove to yourself that it's not true. That's all like healing comes down to. So mid-June, it feels like we're all gonna like have the potential to realize that and to act on it and to like take action so that we heal these things that are holding us back from pursuing our soul's mission and our dream. So then on the 20th, we have the sun moving into Cancer. Cancer season begins. And I feel like this is truly the end of like the Venus cazimi. I mean, it we're not gonna feel it really too much up until this point, like from the 15th, 16th of June onwards. Like it feels like the cazimi is ending around the 15th, 16th of June. And it's really just to highlight what our values are, what our worthiness is, right? And to heal these patterns of negativity that are holding us back from being embodied in what we want to do and how we want to move forward and what we want to begin. I almost feel like a broken record at this point because it's all kind of the same energy of like, what do you want to do? How do you want to move forward? Like, and healing anything that's holding you back from taking action on it, from doing it. Because in doing it, you're not only going to like create this dream of yours eventually, but you're going to prove to yourself that none of that negative talk was like true. It was all just silly, like wind, silly, just wind in your sails, which you can, which can wreck the boat or it can like propel the boat forward over the waves. Like you get to choose how you interact with that energy. And that's what we're all realizing this month, especially come the middle of June, when that Venus cazimi clears up. Then we have a full moon in Capricorn on June 21st. This is the same day as the solstice, I believe. I think it's called the summer solstice, right? So this is again about new beginnings. Like what are you really choosing to step into at this time? How are you taking action on it? Um, how are you taking this is giving me Knight of Pentacles energy too. Like how are you taking like the progress might seem slow, but you just got to keep with it. You got to be steadfast and stay steady in what you're doing because it does take time to build things that are stable, things that are set and solid on a solid foundation. Like it takes time. This is Saturn energy. You don't want Jupiter energy when it comes to building a dream. You don't want like, oh, it all happened overnight and then a week later it's gone. You don't want that. Like we all want sustainable dreams, right? That help us to create generational wealth, hopefully. And that's Saturn energy. It takes time to build up to that and it takes dedication. It takes committing yourself to the dream. Even when it looks like things aren't working, even when it looks like things aren't adding up, they are. You just can't see all of that happening yet. It's like planting seeds in a garden. Like the seeds are growing underneath the soil, and just because you can't see them yet doesn't mean they're not growing, right? This is that energy. So we just have to stay steadfast with what we're building. And this is going to be the theme of the full moon. I keep wanting to say new moon in Capricorn. I don't know why. But this is going to be the theme of the full moon in Capricorn that we have on the 21st of like, how are you staying steadfast, determined, and dedicated to building this dream for yourself and letting, like, having this vision come to life, even though it's going to take moments where it looks like things aren't working. They are, right? Underneath the surface is all adding up. It's all getting you to where you're meant to go. And it's just about not giving up on yourself. And that's when you see the success is when you don't give up, right? Your miracle is right on the other side of you wanting to give up. So if it's something you really are obsessed with and something you really love, don't give up on it. Just keep building because it will pay off. This is a Saturn year. This year is all about building a solid foundation for ourselves on something that is sustainable, with something that is sustainable in a way that's supportive We're gonna be supported by the Pluto and Aquarius era that we're all stepping into: authenticity, innovation, serving humanity with our gifts, coming out of the Pluto and Capricorn era of like structure and planning and go to college, get a degree, work a job for 20, 50 years, or however long. Like, no, we're in an innovative time period. And this is why all of this is promoting us to make the changes, because the old system that we've lived in is crumbling and falling, and it was built on a rocky foundation to begin with. So we're all being asked to create new foundations that ultimately are better for us and more solid, but it does take time to build things. If you're in my membership and you saw my 2024 update, I kept comparing the energy of 2024. I did an overview for all of the transits in 2024 with astrology and human design. It's such an in-depth overview of 2024. I think it's like 3 hours long. But I kept referring to this analogy of like building a house. Like, we're really building our new house this year of like, and the house is the dream and that you want to step into, right? And it takes time to build a house. You gotta lay the foundation, you gotta like let it sit, like lay the cement and then just let it sit. You gotta build the bones of the house, like the structure of the house, and then eventually you get to live in the house, but you have to build all this stuff first. It takes time, it takes dedication. You can't just give up halfway through and think that you're still going to be able to live in the house. Like, you got to build the whole thing and you got to build it well so it will last. This is that energy. So now that we're in Cancer season, I feel like it's just going to be a focus on, again, how are we listening to our intuition and taking action on that? And also, how are we balancing what we're doing with taking care of ourselves, our physical body, nurturing ourselves, eating in the ways that are going to support our literal body, all that kind of stuff is going to really is really going to shift. How do I say that? How do I want to say that? That's what our focus is going to shift into during Cancer season. Okay, so let me see if there's any other major transits happening in June. That feels like the biggest energy to me is kind of already what we went over. Yeah, and I think the full moon in Capricorn is going to be in gate 10, which is behavior of the self. Like, what are you doing to support yourself at this time, right? And support ultimately your vision and this new direction that you're headed. Gate 10 is in the identity center, the G center. So it's about our sense of direction. It's about operating cohesively, bridging the two parts of ourselves, the unconscious and the conscious, and operating in alignment with our authority, which helps us to navigate our way back home to our true self. So this is why human design is such a supportive tool for us all right now, and just learning to experiment with living it in your authority is going to be so, so, so instrumental to just navigating this time with the utmost ease possible. On June 20th, we have Jupiter moving into gate 16, which is going to be about, let me go to gate 16. I believe gate 16 is skills. Yeah, building this new vision with enthusiasm, right? What I was saying earlier, like remembering to have joy with what you're doing and knowing that your skills, your story, your expertise, whatever it is, like your knowledge, your wisdom is valuable. And as long as you have this like enthusiasm in sharing it, it's probably what you're meant to be doing. So yes, gate 16, where Jupiter is going to be, enthusiasm, skills. This is going to bring a larger than life energy to the collective. The great art of enriching life by the harmonic channeling of energy. Harmonic channeling of energy. So yeah, again, like, we're really going to be feeling towards the end of June, this need to share our skills and this need to share ourselves with the world. All of these gates are in the throat center as well. Like, this is all about, how are you sharing yourself? How are you putting your gifts, your talents, your information, your knowledge, your wisdom out into the world? And just doing it like with this relentlessness of like, this is what I love and I don't care how what people say about it, how people like react to it, whatever. Like, I'm doing this because I want to and I love it, and having that, again, like enthusiasm at the heart of it. those are the major movements in June. We'll still have Saturn in gate 22, which is about just honoring our moods, honoring when like we're in the mood to do something, to share something, or when we're not, right? Um, especially if you have gate 12 and it's going to make that full channel for you, like honoring what your energy is, honoring if you want to just go take a nap. Like you don't need to go against um your physical needs to create this dream. You can operate in alignment with your physical needs. And this is all like why I was saying living in alignment with your authority is going to be key, because if your authority is telling you to do something, it's probably correct for you to be doing it at that time. Like 10 out of 10 times. And if your authority is telling you to go take a nap, like honor it, right? Like if that feels good to you, like depending on what your authority is. But I honestly feel like they all just come down to acting on what feels good, although it shows up in different ways. At the end of the day, it's all about just what feels good in your body and what is going to lead you to feeling your signature theme, whether it's peace, whether it's satisfaction, whether it's surprise, right? Or success. Like experimenting with this in your everyday life is going to be so helpful from now on in pursuing this new beginning and doing it in a way that's ultimately going to lead you to what you want and not burn you out. Um, okay. Yeah, those are the major human design transits. And like I said, I don't feel like after that full moon in Cancer, let me see if we have any major ones. I will be going over, like I said earlier, I do an update every Sunday that gets sent out to my email list for the week ahead. So I'll be going into the more details of like the day to day when we get closer, and the Sunday before the week, I do that update. And that just goes deeper into like the day to day emotions and feelings based on the moon's movements and the interplanet movements. But yeah, I feel like that is really the energy of June, is just honoring your needs and taking action when you feel the inspiration to do so, and not letting those negative thoughts get in the way and stop you, because you have a dream to build. And it's instrumental in this age and like time period that we're in, and like all that is coming as well. Just trying to see if there's anything pertinent. We will have Saturn go retrograde on the looks like on the 29th of June, which will bring kind of more of an introspective period to the way that you're dedicated to your dream. Maybe you're just refining how you're going about it, refining the balance you have with, again, like I've said, taking care of your physical health versus your creative pursuits. Just making sure there's a little bit more balance there. That's what Saturn retrograde feels like it's going to bring us. But yeah, that is the major energy of June. Let me see if y'all have any questions. Feeling so drained and demotivated. Yeah, I feel you. It like literally comes in spurts. Yay, mom is here. Love this human design chat. You're so welcome, Jasmine. I love being here with y'all. What gate is the Venus cazimi? It's been moving through different gates. Um, let's see when it started in gate 16, moved to gate 35 on the 2nd of June, and on the 7th of June it will move into gate 45. Then on the 13th of June it will move into gate 12. And that feels like the last gate it'll be in, really. The last gate will feel it in. We might feel it a little bit in gate 15, but not for long. So all of the Gemini gates, really. Yeah, this was so fun. I will be posting, this will be on my YouTube channel, if you missed any of it, to watch all of it. And then I'll also be posting it to my podcast if you'd rather listen. So And then, like I said, I do a live Q&A if you have questions about your chart or just want to chat about how this stuff is affecting you. Come join my membership community. I do a live Q&A twice a week, every other week. So 4 times a month, live in there. If you're in the community, you'll see the calendar of events and you can RSVP to get notified like right before the live so you don't miss it. And it will just adjust the time for your time zone. So yeah, I hope to see you in there. It's a really intimate place to just connect with me and other people that are learning astrology and human design. It's a really fun time every week. So yeah, thank you all for being here. I love you so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.